Hey, I'm Ralph with Flexfilm, and today we're going to do a Golf or GTI style back window. What's motivated me to do this back window video is I'm having a lot of calls about it. A lot of people are just struggling on the shrink. These windows don't look intimidating, but they really are. Even though they're small and compact, they're very curvy and they're tricky. And they'll sneak up on you if you're not ready for it. So I'm going to show the techniques to do this back window. Don't let this window sneak up on you. And we're going to go and start this video and show you step by step how we do it. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to use the dry shrinking method. I like to use the Irish spring, just my favorite method. There's other methods that we can use with dryer sheets, baby powder. Baby powder for me is just way too, it just gets the window too dry, and it doesn't let me see the window film stick as I'm shrinking it. Therefore, I can't tell how much I'm shrinking it because I tend to over shrink it with that method. This method, I put very little moisture on my hand, and I can, almost rub it on and instantaneously get it dry, and that's the way I want to do it. I see some people use sponges and rags. That's fine. It just takes longer for it to dry. We're here kind of in the middle of winter time, and I'm over here putting it on, and I'm trying to, if I'm in the shop and I'm in a hurry, I don't want to wait on this to dry. So that's already dry. I ain't even finished talking yet. I hadn't done this half yet, but I take my spray bottle just to get a little moisture on the bar of soap, slightly lather it in my hand, and then I kind of put little dots, splashes, whatever, around everywhere. Then I can start connecting them quickly. Sometimes I just kind of keep rubbing on them because the more I rub, the thinner it gets and the faster it dries. And I need this to dry before I start. Okay, it's not dry yet, but let me come over here and wash my hand off, let it dry. Okay. I'm going to look at the film here. We're going to use our new Retroflex. That's our premium dyed film 2-ply. Selling really well. Lifetime warranty. Shrink's really nice. I can use any film we sell to do this, but I just chose I'm just trying to dry this along. It's already dry. I like it to be dry. I'm going to lay my rag up here. What the heck? Before I go any further, we're going to use a 20-inch roll over here I've already got set up. I'm going to measure the width of my ruler. We're going to cut it out slightly larger, like 51 inches, so that I can show you how this technique's going to play out. And come over here. I got this little cool shelf that we built. Got a tool wall over here with all the tools that we use. We sell them too. If we show them in the video, we sell them. But this little slitter tray makes it nice. We put a box up here. It doesn't go anywhere. And I can quickly access what film I need without having to worry about the box falling off. It's a habit for me to determine what side the release liner's on. I have a lot of guys, and I used to be one of these guys. They'll call me and say, hey man, your release liner your film was rolled different last time I checked, because every now and then it's very rare a film will get rolled different, and people will assume the release liner is on one side when it was on the other. And if you get in the habit of checking it every time, my theory is that you won't run into that problem if you ever have a little discrepancy with anybody. Everybody's film can have that issue. Now I'm just gonna see, with this soap I can start pushing this film down and it sticks. Doesn't move anywhere. I'm not going to go all out yet to smooth it out like I want, but I am going to do a quick trim. Now, I'm going to leave it extra long. I'm going to leave this corner kind of right here. I want to have something to hold on to. I'll explain that later. I don't want to trim this one like I do a lot of windows that are just real tight. I'm going to rely on my excess film that I have hanging over to shrink this really curvy window, and be careful how much I trim off this. I may trim just a little bit. Maybe, well, I'm not gonna do anything yet. I'm gonna kind of worry about the middle around this wiper blade first, just to get this film laying down a little smoother. Now I can see through this film pretty good. If I needed a light, I have one close by, which I'm lucky right now, I don't need it. If it was on a car, I might. I'm just kind of working my way around. I'm gonna trim just a little bit off, not much. Maybe stop right there. Continue this. I'm not really planning on installing this film necessarily on this example, just kind of focusing on the shrink. Now, a lot of these windows have that wing right here, and there is a different method to shrink this, a lot of extra steps. I may touch on that here in this video, but this video is definitely just about shrinking it first, not going over all the different variations of this particular glass. I'm smoothing it out, kind of preparing for my shrink. And I am going in the middle here. I will say this, it's been about 5 years actually since I've tinted this style glass, so I'm sure I would be more up on some things. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. You know, it's always natural to start anchoring your film in the middle. Sometimes if you anchor your film a little toward the top or a little toward the bottom, you know, based on how this window is curved, you can see how the fingers play out. You know, you want the smallest fingers possible. And I'm looking at the way this glass is designed. These are a little bigger at the bottom, and they're a little, I don't know, they're pretty even. I could make the fingers bigger at the bottom and smaller at the top if I wanted to go up a little higher. But I'm looking at this. I don't see anything that's really intimidating to me, so I'm just going to go with this in the center. But it doesn't matter what car I'm tinting. Sometimes different cars have different glass from car to car slightly. And don't just memorize. Always survey and look at the glass and look at the curve and try to see how your fingers are lining up. And if you like what you see, which I do here, things will always or could always work out in your favor. Now let's get to the heat gun part. I'm always going to use my well-built here. We pulled this little shelf that we made. We hadn't even painted it yet in the area where I could work, and it'd be easier to make a video. But I am going to paint it black and maybe trim it off a little bit. But we always use these stands to get different back glasses out of cars. It's kind of cool. I'll let the heat gun warm up for a second. You know, I could use a glove at this point. I could use my hand. I could use a hard card. I'm going to use my smart card. I'm just going to work really slow. This is a dyed film. It's very sensitive to heat. And I know these are going to be my tricky areas, these corners, but I'm just going to try to play around and just start shrinking on it a little bit and just see how this window starts taking shape. I'm just going to try to knock out the tops first. I don't even over shrink this, just barely shrinking it. Looking at the sides, definitely have some sneak fingers over here. They're kind of accumulating on the side, and if you start working them around, what happens is they make these fingers really big on the sides. I've got these sort of in the corner of my eye here, and I'm just kind of working a little bit at a time just to see if the closer I get to the bottom, you know, the easier it gets in a way. It does fan out and get harder the way the fingers spread out, but at least I can kind of, you know, get my game plan a little bit better the further I go down. See that? Doing a little bit at a time. I'm always keeping these fingers vertical. Kind of going across. Little by little. That's where these corners start getting a little difficult. Notice how I cut more film than I needed off. There's a reason for that. I'll explain that in a second. It's not something you always have to do. But if you are, if you got fingers coming this way and they're growing really big as you push them to the side, if you put more film than you need, then you can actually do a little side shrinking. I'll do a little right now. There's a couple of small fingers right here that I could actually, kind of get to lock in and kind of go away. And that way I don't have to move them back around and add to this monstrosity that's already here. Again, I've already shrunk everything I need in this corner. And I'm going to do the same thing in this corner. I'm just going to start slow, work my way across a little bit, just getting the gun warmed back up, pushing on it little at a time. Now see, I can shrink this finger right here. I can shrink it right here in the clear glass. I can actually move a finger off into the black zone here, where I'm not even, I'm going to cut this away. That might help relax the finger here. If I had cut it too short, I wouldn't be able to use this technique. I would have to bunch my finger all the way up inside this area. See how bad that is? See, I can actually come over here and work this finger in this area that's not even part of this tent job. I'm actually going to discard that, which is another little secret trick here to making this work. I always see that's getting. I don't know if you can see the camera angle here, but this is where the film is starting. See, I've over shrunk it right here. It's starting to come into a point right here. If I keep running this track, I'm going to get a crease right here. This is where a lot of people fail. This is where the trouble starts. So what you do is you look at this little point, and this is where I don't want to shrink anymore. I want to start shrinking up in here. This is the fresh, ready to shrink film. And I want to start shrinking it literally down to that point so I can meet that point and then work that point out. And this is a strategy that's really helped out me a lot. And it's tricky, but you don't get in a hurry. You shrink the tops. You go over here a little bit, shrink the top, it falls into place. Kind of falls into place. Now, still a little bunched up right here, but see, we got a lot more real estate over here we can work with and get it to shrink. See how I'm shrinking that corner at the top? I'm pushing it off the grid here. So once I get it off the grid, I can crease it. As long as it's not, part of my, see like that, it's not part of my tent job anymore. As things start laying down. See that little crease right there? It's not on the glass. But I had to have this extra film here to minimize or manage this area in here. If I had cut that off and tried to do all this in here, I would have all this craziness in here. So I can keep on playing with it if I want to. I'm not really caring about it. I'm just showing this for the video. I can really keep playing around with this. So what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to come around when I do my final trim like this, and I'm actually going to do something like this. I never trim until the end, but I'm showing this for the video. See, that's how clean that looks now. I would go all the way around, but let me keep shrinking. All this is easier, more routine. See, then we're going to work our way onto the other side. Let's see here, I'm going to use the same cord. Start back at the corners, middle, just kind of hitting the top. See, I'm shrinking film into black now. Some of the black and the clear, just kind of mixing it up a little bit, working it down. I'll do a little faster this time. I can talk a lot and slow down because it's hard to do for me two things at one time. Now I'm gonna go attack the bottoms a little bit more to minimize these places where I could probably crease the film. I didn't, I had my gun on my first setting. That's why nothing was really happening around here. I need 930 degrees. I don't need 700 or 500 degrees. So I'm back with the heat now. I didn't even see that. That happens to me sometimes. I get embarrassed, but see, now the film's starting to shrink again. I was struggling, going, what's going on here? And that's what it was. With dyed film, sometimes you can kind of pinch the film a little bit, and I'm playing now. I've already shrunk this corner, but I want you to get a closer up of this. I want people to see this right here. This is not influencing my tent job. I'm going to actually cut this off, but I want to show you guys something. You see how you can kind of pinch up dyed film sometimes? These are little creases. I'm not really going to call those real creases. You can kind of play with these. If it wasn't for this type of film, and being so sensitive and having the ability to pinch film up real quick, I would say the tool like the little chiseler would never technically have ever sold. You see, some people will have a problem like this. Say it's over here. They'll go ahead and install the film, and then when it's on there, then they'll heat it from the outside. They'll use their little chiseler or some sort of hard card and try to manage that out. But another trick that you can use is to get some air up underneath the film like this, and you can actually get your gun back real hot again, and you can come back over that same spot and push on it, and you can start getting it out. I can do it again and again, and I could probably actually get that to go completely out. You see that? Can you get a good close-up of that? It's gone. I mean, I might have a little bit of scar there. I could keep doing it, but the more you do it, see, the more you eliminate that, the more you can keep that little chiseler in your pocket and not have to bring it out. You've got to get the film right before you put it on. And if you keep doing little exercises like this, it'll just go on really smooth, and you don't have to spend time extra with the heat gun and a little chiseler. Just thought I would point that out. It was an opportunity moment. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish shrinking the corner. I'm going to get the middle. I'm going to walk in front of the camera. See, now I'm on the home stretch. I'm just going to kind of coast in with my gun on the right setting this time. Just kind of work it around, down. I'm happy with that. Then I got this last top edge here. I'm going to go slow, kind of get it laying down a little tighter by working the ends first. Okay, this is my struggle corner. I'm going to just kind of play with it, get it up a little higher. I know that if I pinch that film, I can use that trick I just showed you to, get those little creases out before they turn into, I guess, the real creases or the zipper creases that are permanent. I call that not really a crease, it's really like a pinch. It's real easy to pinch dyed film because it's so sensitive to heat. Might be pinching this here. Okay. Now I'm going to think about what I'm going to do because it's starting to pinch. I'm going to hit the top here because I want to relax the pinch. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of my way. See how I just got that end to lay down? And sometimes you got to do this while it's hot. Keep the momentum going. Don't want to cool it down, then you can't sort of push it. Okay, I want a close-up of this. I want you to see this is always the case with dyed film. I even do it, I get in a hurry. It pinches. Can you get a close-up of that pinch? I don't know how well that camera's gonna get that. You see that little pinch area? See, these are the areas that you can either work on from the inside after you install the film, or you can try to manage them after the fact before you put the film on, like I'm gonna do. Again, I'm just gonna come over here and try to, kind of lift the film up, kind of put it back down. I'm gonna get some air underneath it. See, the air underneath it is gonna give me a second chance to shrink. I'm trying to get a good angle of this because I'm right-handed, but let me try it. Okay, see? It's gone. That's how to get these little pinches out. That will eliminate me having to use a little chiseler. And not that I have a problem with the little chiseler or other hard cards. I just want to save some time. This is the way to deal with those little pinches on dyed film. Everybody gets them. I do too. I just want to show you how I deal with them. Okay, at this point, I got everything is shrunk. You know, I would go around and I would trim, you know, all the edges, and then I would prep the inside of the glass, and then I would install the film, clean everything up, and you know, everybody will be happy. This video is about the shrink. I wasn't gonna do the whole glass, but I appreciate you tuning in. If you've made it to the end, I hope you learned some of my cool tricks, my little pinch techniques, and you know, how to manage some of these curved back windows without having any creases in the corners. So thank you.